In current times, the important subjects of sexuality and gender identity are becoming more widely discussed in modern society. Although it may seem complicated, here at Northwest there are many students that are members of the LGBTQIA+ community and are willing to help peers and adults learn more about these subjects.
I've been out for, I want to say like 2 or 3 years to my family, officially about 2. I identify as an asexual lesbian. I think there are a lot of people who don't really know much about gender identity and sexuality. Something I don't think people really realize about gender identity and sexuality is that it can be fluid and it's on a spectrum. You can go as unlabeled if you want. The whole point is to not be judged for it. Some ways that I think people could get educated on the LGBTQ community and gender identity and sexuality would be just asking someone who identifies other than cisgender and heterosexual, or you can do some research online. That's always good. That's what I did.
Gender is not concrete. It is typically seen as a scale or a spectrum. There are 4 main parts: gender identity, gender expression, sex, and sexuality. Very few, if any, of the parts of these spectrums are clearly defined, and that is part of what some people might find confusing about the topic. Although there are lots of people in and around Northwest that are very supportive of the LGBTQIA+ community, there are still students who deal with discrimination in and around Northwest.
Once was very apparent. It was called the F slur at the homecoming parade. I was wearing my pride flag. Otherwise, people using gay as a derogatory term in just normal conversation. There are some people who do have it harder than others. It's not just one collective hardship that we all have. It's worse for other minorities in the community as well. Just be nice to people. You never know what someone's going through, and if they're struggling with their gender or sexuality, just be nice to them. Help them if they ask for help.
A caring support network is one of the most important things that an LGBTQIA+ kid could possibly have. Feeling unsafe or unaccepted for who you are is detrimental to mental health and self-image.
Hannah's just my daughter. She's my second daughter. She is a sophomore here at Northwest. I'm really lucky that Hannah was as open with me as she was. The only thing that I could really do was just reiterate that I care about her and that I want her to be happy. I guess the only advice that I would give someone who has someone in their family who's trying to figure out their orientation, open a dialogue, because as ignorant in some ways that as I felt when I was asking questions or having discussions with my daughter, it's great to get some clarity and direction from someone who's in the community.
Although discrimination is an unfortunate reality for some people in the LGBTQIA+ community, as well as for other minorities, there are groups working to combat discrimination in our society and to help provide understanding to those who wish to learn about the subject, such as the Northwest GSA.
GSA is one of the clubs that I sponsor here at Blue Valley Northwest, and GSA stands for Gender and Sexuality Alliance. Sometimes people are not sure how to ask the questions. They might want to know which pronouns to use or what name to call people, and I think they don't know how to do that in a polite manner. Introduce yourself and share how you like to be addressed. For example, I'm Mrs. Schumacher, she, her, hers are my pronouns. That's always a good way to kind of lead off in that conversation. Just reaching out and making that connection, showing that it's important to you that you're talking to a person and you're calling them the way they want to be addressed.
With groups like Northwest Gender and Sexuality Alliance continuing to help educate the community and advocate for LGBTQIA+ students, students at Northwest can rest assured knowing that you are never alone and that your voice always matters. This is Raven Lopez for Husky Headlines.